Hi YouTubers, I'm back again and today I'm excited to bring you a brand new tutorial. Now this was a request from a good friend of mine who's been having some issues with doing a specific look. She's looking at going to a party with some winged liquid eyeliner and she wanted to team that with a really bright red lip. So I've created this tutorial just to assist you, Leslie, and I really hope that it helps. Let me know. Enjoy watching, everyone. I'm going to start to get straight into this look so we don't lose any time. So to start with, all I've done is prepared my base. I have applied some moisturiser, a primer and also my foundation. Now on my eyes I have applied a eye primer, which is very important just to allow your eyeshadow to stay for the longest time possible. I would not skimp that step. So the first thing we're going to do is apply a nude coloured eyeshadow to the entire lid of the eye. The colour I'll be using is from my Coastal Scents 88 palette, and hopefully you can see I'll be using the second colour. So I'm just going to pack that onto the eyeshadow brush. And I'll be applying that to the entire lid of both eyes. The second step is to apply some contouring around the eye socket. So for this particular look on my skin colour, I will be using a nice warm brown colour. I don't want something that is too harsh. I want something that is quite gentle, that will blend into that eye socket and make it look quite natural and just define the eye shape. So the eyeshadow colour I will be using is again from the Coastal Scents 88 palette, and it is this colour right here. So a nice warm brown. I'll be taking that onto my eyeshadow brush and I will be placing that in the inner crease of my eye. Now I will use a windscreen wiper motion all the way from the outer edge of my eye into the centre. Now you will need to pick up some extra colour. We don't want it to be too dark, but we do want it to be visible enough that it will show a nice outline to the eye. Now you can see that that outer crease is nice and defined, and it really highlights that inner portion of the eyelid. So if you want to, you can now use a blending brush, just nice and clean with no product on there, and we will just work at that brown colour and work to smoke it out just a little bit so that line is not quite so visible. So this next step involves putting the liquid eyeliner on the eyes. It can be a little bit tricky, and to be honest, the only thing that will help that is practice. I tend to use a felt tip liquid eyeliner, so it looks a bit like a texter or a felt tip pen. There are a couple on the market. The one that I prefer is Christian Dior. It is a little bit pricey, but it is the best I have used. Your other options include CoverGirl liquid eyeliner, which is available in Australian supermarkets. I buy that on occasions and it has a similar kind of felt tip end. The difference with the Dior, however, is the fact that the Dior has a really nice, long, flexible tip. So it's very thin and very flexible, almost like a calligraphy brush. And I find that is really great to actually get the eyeliner around the eyes and the lashes very easily. So to start with, I'll give my eyeliner just a bit of a shake to release some of the liquid into the end. You don't want to overshake because you don't want too much product coming out. It can pull on the eye. So I will be starting from the centre of the eye, which is the highest point of the eyelid, and I will be going out to the end of the eye, just here to the corner. Now it is important to keep your hands steady. If you need to, lean your elbow on a hard surface. That will really help with any steadiness issues if you're a little bit shaky. And I find it's quite easy to do small strokes. You don't have to do it in one go. You can do it in small strokes and just concentrate on keeping that line nice and even and keeping your hand very still. So now I have achieved the liquid eye line all the way down to the end of the eye. The next step is to create the wing. Now this can be a little bit tricky, I know. I will try to explain a little trick that I use to try and make it look as natural as possible and as glamorous as possible. So the first step is to take your eyelashes and just gently push them back as if you're curling them. Now you should notice there is a certain angle that your lashes will take naturally. Okay, so mine come out onto an angle just like that. Okay, so that's the line I'm going to attempt to draw. It is important that you don't have too much liner on the end of the felt tip as you're doing your line. Otherwise it will be blotchy and you'll get too much product there and you'll create much too thick of a line. So I will just start again with very short strokes, and I'm just winging that out. So again, I've pushed the eyelash back and I'm following that natural line of the lash. Now you can always go back and make it darker, and it's also a good idea just to link that in to that initial line just by taking the line from here and fattening up the base just a tiny bit. You want this flick to be very thin in the end. It can be a little bit thicker at the beginning where the line originates, but it needs to remain thin. It is important to take your time while you're doing your wings. You do need them to look identical on both sides, so ensure that you are looking again and again at both sides and making sure they mirror each other in terms of length and thickness as well. It is possible to correct some of your mistakes just with a cotton stick, which I will show you. Just one of these, very cheap. You can just soak that in makeup remover or even just under a little bit of water, and you can use that to make any small corrections around that tick. So the next step is to mirror that line on the bottom lash. Now I don't tend to use the liquid eyeliner on my bottom lash line. I find that it disappears very easily and very quickly throughout the day. So in order to make it a bit more long lasting, I actually use an eyeshadow just on a flat angled eyeshadow brush, just like this one. So I will be using just a black eyeshadow. Again, it's from the Coastal Scents palette, and it's the colour just here. So I'll pick that up on the angled brush, and I'll just apply that to the inner corner, starting where that flick is. Just gently tapping that on the bottom lash line and bringing it maybe a quarter of the way into my eye. You don't want to bring it all the way into that inner corner because it's going to be too harsh. We're looking at a very nice, minimal, glamorous look to the eyes. We want the lips to be doing all the talking. I'll be using an eyelash curler just to curl the lashes before I apply the mascara. This will mean that I get optimal curl and the lashes are going to flick up nicely just to mirror that beautiful tick that we have going on with the winged eyeliner. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my mascara. I'm still using the same Revlon mascara that I've used in previous tutorials. It is the Revlon Fabulash. Now you should be able to see the lashes are nice and defined. I've applied 2 coats to each lash, and you can see that it really reflects that lovely tick that we have on the outer of the eye. Now the next step is to do the lips. It's quite important to do the lips next and not to do the cheeks or the contouring, because the strength of the lipstick that you use will show you exactly how far you can go in terms of contouring and blush. You don't want to apply too much with a bright lip because that will make your face look overdone and too bright. I will be using a lip liner to line the lips. This one is from MAC. This colour is Brick. It's a beautiful deep red. The next step is to start from the bottom of the lip, start from the inner corner and work your way through, again with nice small strokes. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in that bottom lip, Putting the lip liner on first will ensure that you get good adhesion when you end up putting the lipstick over the top, and it will last a lot longer that way. So the lipstick I will be using today is Lancome Colour Fever. It is this colour. You can see it's a very strong, very punchy, almost orangey red. I'll be applying it with my lip brush. Okay, just applying a little bit to the brush and then painting that straight over the lip liner. I do strongly recommend using a lip brush to apply your lipstick, especially if you're going out, just because it will apply a lot better. It is a lot more accurate. You can stay within the lines, and it also will last a great deal longer. So the next step just involves contouring the cheeks. And as I said before, the lip colour will dictate exactly how much we use to contour. I'll be using my Pop Beauty bronzer out of my Sunny Day Bouquet compact. So it's just the waterproof bronzer in the centre there. I'll be applying it to an angled brush, sucking in my cheeks like a fish and gently applying that to the cheekbone. As I've said in earlier tutorials, if you feel your cheeks all the way down your face, that is where you want to apply the bronzer, and you want it to stop approximately at a line from where your eye stops. So approximately here on my face. So again, you are welcome to stop right here. I'm going to add one extra component, and that is a highlighter. I'm going to apply that to the tops of my eyebrows, just in that arch section, and I'll also be adding a small amount to this bone just here. So it's the top of your cheekbones, and it's also the bottom of your eye sockets. So you can just feel that line right there. Okay, so the highlighter I will be using is from the Revlon Colour Stay Brow Enhancer. The other side of the brow enhancer is actually a beautiful cream highlighter. It's almost a champagne colour, and it's really universally flattering. So I'll be starting just at that section of the eyebrow that arches out. Okay, so it's about halfway, probably a bit more than halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way down my eyebrow, getting towards the thinnest section. I'll just be applying that. You can see it's a beautiful shimmer, and I'll be blending that in. You don't want the shimmer to be too obvious. Now to do the cheeks, I'll actually be applying that via my finger. I'll just draw some of that on, and I will just apply that very gently to the tops of the cheeks. Now again, it's really important that you don't put too much on. Less is more in this instance. So there it is. The makeup look is complete. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope you've gotten a few tips and tricks out of what I've done. And as always, leave me a comment if you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching.